Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and I want to do a sort of review series on some Dimple lock picks, the top 3 sets that I've seen people in the lock sport community purchase, use, and talk about. The ones which you tend to find most commonly on places, like Amazon and Banggood, DHgate, and all those kind of outlets. So we've looked at a number of kits already, a GOSO 18-piece, also advertised as 15, 16, 17 and all sorts, but 18-piece interchangeable tip kit, a fixed-handled kit made by an unknown manufacturer, but again seen as GOSO and I believe Klom unbranded. And this is the final set, the wonderfully named Honest Dong Shi set. I'll be honest, I purchased this because it just looks brilliant and really beautiful and pretty and has all sorts of nice colours. That's as good as a reason as any, since I already own the GOSO kit. This was a vanity purchase, if you like. Okay. You'll notice that, first off, in terms of the review, these picks are not in the case they came in. This is actually a glasses case, a spectacles case. But that's what they come in, and actually it works perfectly well to hold them. It's just that, I don't know, it looks a bit yucky to me, but there's nothing wrong with it. It holds them in very nice. The only downside is that it's got paper inserts, which for transportation they poke the Dimple picks up into. If I get one out here, I'll show you. So they actually come sort of poked through, so it stops them rattling around. Which does mean it ruins the case from the inside. How important that is to you, I don't know. It's unlikely you want to really keep hold of this case. And if you do keep hold of this case, it's going to be in a toolbox. And how much do you care about the inside? You can always modify it, add some foam, take that out, take this out, add some leather lining, velvet, really whatever your preference is. But that's the case it comes in. It works perfectly well. Even if it does mean that the nice anodized finish may get scratched with them all rattling around together, but that's what you get. Okay, compare it to the sort of unbranded fixed plastic handle or rubberized handle one and the GOSO one, and nobody's winning an award for best case, are they? Okay. Nevertheless, it's not about the case; it's about the tools. And what do you get? Well, you get these beautiful handles, and these handles are not designed to be sort of interchangeable tips like the GOSO one I reviewed earlier, but actually have a grub screw. You can remove these, and this is about 3.5 mils wide, and will take all sorts of other things, screwdriver attachments and drill attachments and bits and bobs. So you could really use these for a number of different purposes. Even if you didn't want them as the kit, you get this for somewhere again between £10 and £20, depending where you buy. So, I mean, really, I would say it's worth buying just for these beautiful handles. If you were a hobbyist and you had a use for some handles like this, ignore the Dimple things. It's absolutely worth it for for these lovely handles themselves, at least in my opinion. I'm just trying to think how much B&Q would sell just one of these handles for, and it's probably the price of the whole kit. So there you go. So in terms of size, they're a bit longer than the GOSO ones, and if you hold them like a pen like that, actually quite comfortable. You tend to use Dimple picks sort of more in the fingers, but again, the extra length is comfortable. It's not essential. This one is fine from the GOSO kit, but the Honest Dong Shi ones are just maybe a little bit more comfortable, and because they've got a little grub screw in there which is offset, so you're not going to catch your finger or thumb on it. It's very comfortable, and you're not ever going to unscrew them by accident. They seem to be held in really tightly as well, so any idea that maybe just one grub screw won't hold them in tight is unfounded. They hold them in really tight. So what do you actually get then? Notice that this, in terms of left-handed and right-handedness, this isn't either. It's a flat flag, so it can be used pretty much for any application that it will get onto the pins for. So overall, quite a nice idea that not all of them have to be a left-handed or right-handed, although because it doesn't have as much supported metal at the top, it's probably a little bit weaker. So if I move closer, you'll see that, and I've tried to put them in handedness as well. You get a 1, 2, 3, one side. That's right, 1, 2, 3, one side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 the other side, and then a double-sided one. So again, why they chose to have one more in one direction, I'm not really sure, but I'd say that you get an adequate range of tips, including curved and straight. I shall pull up a couple of the curved ones for you to show, which I think is that blue one and this blue one. So there you go. You can see that, get to focus for you, you got two curves going different handedness. The other ones in the kit tend to be paired off as well. So if I pull them all out for you, you can have a bit of a look a bit closer. I've also modded these, and I'll come on to why and how in a minute. So we go. Here we go. So you'll see that you've got partners of pretty much all of these dimple flags. I would say that it's these two and these two, and these two and these two. So there you go, you've got a kind of a, these ones are sort of left-handed, right-handed partners. And then you've got another one which is a slightly smaller flag than the others, but only one-sided. I really don't know why they didn't give you, it's thin but long, I don't know why they didn't give you another flag to match that. It sort of doesn't make any sense. And I wish they did include its partner. Like I said, if you compare it, it's a little bit thinner, maybe a tad longer than the others, so it might actually have an application, and not having its left-handed partner would just be a bit of a pain, wouldn't it? I don't know why they did that. Possible they just had a nice set of handles, and therefore decided to fit the number of flags to the handle instead of working out how many flags they needed and working backwards from there. But you know, like I said, for less than 20 quid, this is a bargain. In terms of modifications, what else you get in here? You do get some half diamonds. Unlike the half diamond you get in this rubberized fixed handle kit, it is thinned down, and therefore you can more easily get into a dimple lock like that and actually get onto the pins, which I think is a big bonus. Saying that, how hard would it be to actually thin down and file down that tip? Not very. So, you know, you're talking, you can probably pick these up for a little less than this Honest Dong Shi kit. So if you prefer those other handles, then I'd say go for it. Like I said, you can get this, I think the average price for this is around, give or take, the £20 mark. You can see where I've modified it though. This is how this half diamond actually starts, and it's brutally thick metal, which is good, it's strong at least, you know. And whilst the tip is thinned, there's for no reason an extension of the shank or shaft that goes all the way well, about 1 to 2 millimeters above where that is. And all of the picks in this set come this thick square metal. Now, I spent 2 hours with a set of files just like this in front of the TV, don't tell the missus, and I filed them all down. Probably should finish these off with a very fine 1000 and then 2000 grit sandpaper, but you get the idea of how round this is now, and that allows and it's got a bit of a shine to it, so it allows the pick to slide in and out, not get caught up in the warding. And actually I'd recommend that for all of these. If you look at the raw state of all of these sets, they are all square, all made of similar very square, thick, hard metal. Now the thickness and the hardness isn't necessarily a problem in the Dimple Locks, but they do make them slightly brittle, but clearly rounding them off is, I would say, an essential modification, probably for all of these kits, honestly. So it's time well spent. It really, really, really is. Okay. But like I said, none of these kits are perfect in terms of finish at all. So you know, when you're talking about all of these kits can be purchased for around 20 quid or under, they're all good value. I would say that in terms of range of useful dimple picks, it's got to be the GOSO set at the top here. In terms of overall sort of quality, I'd have to say it's these Honest Dong Shi. Might not have quite the range, but I wish it had slightly more. Saying that though, why couldn't you, if you had both, and I do, put these tips into these handles should you need them? Well, I can, so I might do that. I wouldn't recommend you buy both, but since I had bought both, I'm not at a loss should I want to say I use one flag more than another and want to have it on a fixed handle. Well, I can add it, can't I? What else do you get in this kit? Well, you get some tension wrenches. You can actually quite have a few in here. Only I've got some additions in here, I have to admit, but you do get in my kit I got these three. Get a standard sort of flat Z or Z wrench, but you also get this quite funky one, which I quite like. I'm not entirely sure what advantage it gives you, but I appreciate the difference in look. Answers on a postcard. You also get a perfectly standard but quite a bit too thick twisted L wrench there, and again, it's not bad. You can use it to you know, on some Dimple locks to pick in the warding and get some tension in the warding. Sorry. So again, it's not an unhelpful addition. So overall, I mean, this is a fantastic value kit. If just for the handles, genuinely, just get it for the handles. It does need some work. Clearly, they all these kits I've reviewed, the you know, the fixed handle and the interchangeable GOSO kit, they need a lot of work. They need some care and attention, a bit of sanding and filing. But once you've got there, they're all made of pretty tough metal. They've all got some pretty good advantages. If I had to rate them, it's sort of hard because it depends on your preferences, but I would say this Honest Dong Shi kit, and there are similar but different makes out there as well, is probably the best one in terms of look, feel and durability. Not maybe in terms of range. In terms of range, I would say that possibly the top GOSO kit has sort of more dimple flags, but they don't vary that much, so you know, I find it hard to say that that is the biggest advantage. If you have this kit, you can use these. You can actually use these interchangeable flags in these by releasing the grub screw here. It just makes it harder and less quick to change the tips over. But really, when you're going to be whizzing through different tip changes, I don't know. Unfortunately, I think that this fixed plastic handle kit sort of comes off last. I think that the box aside, the smell and the finish of these is terrible, but the metal's good and it is full tang, so you know, they're not bad either. They're not actually bad. The handles are, apart from the terrible finish, comfortable. I don't think you'd be disappointed in the range of dimple picks you get once you finish these off. I generally don't, and you could fix other handles to these as well, should you wish to. So whatever you buy, I think you'll be happy with them. I just think you'll be happier if you start off with an Honest Dong Shi set or the GOSO interchangeable tips, depending on your personal preference, bearing in mind the kind of pros and cons which I've talked about. All right. Thank you for listening to those 3 reviews. I hope it helps you decide on which one of those you might want to buy, or whether you want to buy one at all. All right, I'll see you next time.